Parapariani.
Tēnā koe, Mr. Chair, tēnā no tātou. Engari mua haere tonu tōku kōrero I te pōnei. E tūwahi poto tēnei ki te tautoko ngā kōrero I tōku tuakana a pēni. Tōna mihi kia parekura. Nā ta mea I te wā e o rāna, ko e tatahi o ngā tangata o te hare nei, I tūkahana ki te kawe atu ngā kaupapa e pāna ki te ngā take Māori. Mr. Chairman, just by way of explanation, I stand first of all to support the comments made by my elder brother, Penny Henare, in terms of acknowledging the work the late Parekura Horomia had in terms of promoting and advancing the cause of Māori as Minister of Māori Affairs. Mr. Chair, my comments are in relation to the 2013-14 financial period, and I'll refer to the Ministry of Maori Development. I'll also touch on matters concerning the Maori Language Bill and the treaty claims. Mr. Chair, we've heard that the debt owed by this country at the moment is 85 billion. And over the past 7 years, we have ended up having a deficit. And I make that comment wondering, why is it that the Ministry of Maori Development over a similar number of years has underspent their allocation, and wonder whether or not they've been asked to contribute to reducing that debt by underspending their annual allocation. And if in fact that is the case, then I'm very disappointed to hear that, given that the very people that they are set up to serve, apart from their political masters, the very people, Māori, youth, the elderly, the dispossessed, given their needs, I would have thought that the department wouldn't have had enough money to spend. And I want to give you an example. And during the course of the review of that department, the Maori Affairs Select Committee heard that for the Maori wardens, their budget was underspent by 10%. They've received the same allocation for this particular activity since 2008. And in every year, the department has failed to expend the full amount. And I wonder why. And so we asked the officials as to why this was the case. And their response was that the administration funding hadn't been paid out. Now, I find that rather strange that for 7 years in a row, the same budgetary item was not paid out. And hopefully, as time goes on, we will learn more about the reason as to why that underspent. But let's look at some of the other examples where I believe that the department is having difficulty. We heard that they underwent a restructuring of their staff and the way that they would operate over the next year or so. And we found that a number of experienced staff had been let go. And it seemed to me that this was a clear example of allowing institutional knowledge to be lost to that department. And I will say to this House that over the next 12 months or so, we will see the effect of the loss of that institutional knowledge. The Minister, when he took a short call for treaty settlements, He made reference to, Mr. Chair.
No, sorry, the member's allocation is completed.
Oh,
So,
can I ask a point of order then, sir?
point of order. Point of order, Pitaperoni.
I inquired of the chair before you.
My apologies. My apologies. There is one supplementary. So Pitaperoni.
Thank you, sir. So I just wanted to make a comment on the issue around the reform of the Ture Whenua Act, and the minister made quite a statement that there had been enough consultation around the reform of the Ture Whenua Act. I would suggest that there may have been a lot of consultation, but the people were told that it was a review of the Act. Now, the review of the Act and the reform of the Act, I believe, are two different matters. Now, I'm not arguing against the reform. I think the time has come for the reform of the Act. But to suggest that there has been sufficient consultation, then I would suggest that the people have been misled, because they were told during those courses of that consultation that it was going to be a review and not a reform of the Act. The other point I want to make, Mr. Chair, is the issue around whānau order. Now, a lot of money has been expended bringing this program up to where it is today. And one of the challenges that we were advised would be, the ministry would have to face is ensuring that the people knew what whānau order was about. I'm really surprised that it has taken this long, given that it was introduced 3 years ago by the former Minister of Maori Affairs and or the co-leader of the Maori Party at the time. I'm really astounded by the fact that given the amount of money that has been allocated to whānau order, that the ministry is still talking about ensuring that people know what this kaupapa is about. And I think, Mr. Chair, that some monitoring should really take place in terms of how whānau order funding is being expended. Finally, I want to make comment about the Maori language bill, Mr. Speaker, of which the ministry has a purview responsibility for. And one of the changes that has been mooted is the removal of Te Tauta Whiri, the Maori Language Commission, its status being removed from being a Crown entity to just being an ordinary entity. Now, when we spoke to officials, they told us that the difference between a Crown entity, or the responsibilities of a Crown entity, was to report to its board. Now, the proposal under the bill is that the Maori Language Commission will be responsible to a group called Te Mātāwai. Now, I believe that there's no change, no serious change in the setup that the Commission has now. And I believe that the Commission itself should retain its status as a Crown entity. And we in New Zealand First will certainly be pushing that for that to be retained when the bill comes before the House. But I just want to conclude, Mr. Chair, that overall the Te Puni Kōkiri appears to be doing what it was set up to do. But one of the things that I believe they should have taken a lead from their previous minister is making more contact with the people that they're set up to serve. Kia ora.
Mr. Chair.